Hello and good morning. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna adjust the volume just a little bit so I'm not drowned out by it. There we go. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. It's been a week. Oh boy. I feel like it's been a slow week for me. I'm just a teeny weeny bit tired, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure I slept well. I think it's just more leftover allergies that are probably still somewhere in my home. Uh, one moment. There we go. Welcome to the stream, Hedge Chat. Oh. Okay, so this morning we're gonna continue with Sanique here. I want to leave the middle one for last because that's the one I want to color. Actually, I need to adjust my headphones. Okay, so now the music isn't too loud for me, but it's still the same for you guys. Right, I'm warmed up and I'm ready to go. Alright. How was your week? What did you get up to? Oh yeah, right. Freak out. Oh yeah, update on my allergies because I'm pretty sure I mentioned that last time. It's a lot better now. Tree pollen is significantly lower. However, for those who are allergic to grass, I used to have a long way to go. Mostly looking to upcoming Path of Exile Season 2. Oh, pressure change is wild over here. Got the super sinus pressure. Ouch. Welcome to the stream, Arizona Pure. I think you're a new face here. Hello, hello. Your brother made an AI art image of his senior jacket and he said, "What else am I supposed to do?" I don't know. Maybe try to draw it? Or get someone who knows how to draw it? Racing. Exactly. Your sister knows how to draw. I know how to draw. So he has two people in his life who knows how to draw, but he didn't bother to ask them. Okay, that's very strange. What? I mean, I imagine both of you know how to draw well enough. I mean, it's just a senior jacket. That's pretty easy. That's like a very easy basic shape. Especially if it's like laid flat. Excuse me. Sorry, y'all. I've been kind of groggy. So forgive me if I feel a bit... if I seem a bit slow. I think there's something still in my room that's causing problems with my symptoms. My system, excuse me. I'm still getting an itchy throat somewhere. You're hecka hungry? Oh man, you always show up hungry. Don't have a late breakfast again. I think I even recall what you had last time. Which was, waffles? Was it waffles? Chicken and waffles? Oh, you know, speaking of cooking, I have to, like, take my knives out to be sharpened. It's about that time. I guess you can use it to try to make reference material. Goodness knows it's hard to find the exact pose you want sometimes. Yeah, that's true. I mean, especially if it's, like, if you have that item, you can probably model it yourself. Proper reference material would be better, yeah. Like, Arizona Pure's brother could put the jacket on, probably take a few photos, and draw from that. If you don't want, if he can't stay still, because otherwise he would be the perfect model in the jacket. Just think about all the things I have to do today. I have my study group in the afternoon, and I still have to take my knives out to be sharpened. I have to get lunch. I'm gonna have a late lunch because of all those other things. What else do I need to do? Well, good thing I took care of the laundry. I think I would be upset if I hadn't. Yeah, art should not be the final product. Oh yeah, that's true. Hey, look at draws. Welcome, welcome. I know there are people who feel some type of way about AI art as well as AI use. There are people who will use AI art to get an idea of what they want and conceptualize on that. Or they'll just use it as a final product because, like, oh, well, the work's been done for me, so who cares? But But I feel like if you're gonna use it to help you, use it to help you. Don't use it as your workload. Don't use it as an excuse not to get someone else to help you. It's baldness. Hello, hello. Good morning. I feel like I'm making this bang too long. Yeah, I am. Make it a bit shorter. Oh dear. Excuse me. I have to catch myself. I thought I was gonna sneeze, but I didn't. Thank God. Ugh. Where's... okay, great. I have my tea here, so I hope I don't sound sick. I recall last week a lot of you guys said that, well, at least one of you guys said I sounded sick. Do I sound sick? I don't think so. But just in case, I have some tea here to help flush my system. Or should I just ask how's the audio in general? It seems like I'm in the yellow, so I'm loud enough. The music is low enough, right? There we go. Music's a little too low, but I can hear you just fine. Okay. The thing is, like, even though this a lyric-free playlist, I'm still worried I might get caught or whatever because a random stray just shows up. I don't know what's up with my player. Maybe it needs to be refreshed. So I'm gonna boost the music up a little bit just for you guys, but it's not gonna drown me out still. Yeah, my levels say that's still fine. There we go. Just so that there's no dead air while I'm concentrating here. Did I forget something? Oh, you can't really see it up here. I can see it here though. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay. I have a sneeze trying to come out, but it won't. Ugh. Back, went to order some food. Also, crazy things at job. Super busy today. Oh, I see. Yeah, my chat's a little bit quiet. In fact, this is not the only place where it's quiet. Like, my live stream isn't just quiet. My study Discord has also become more quiet. I guess it's because, like, summer is coming and people are, you know, spending more time outdoors. Doing other things other than working on their art. Here. They're touching grass, maybe. Maybe. But yeah, I imagine... I imagine that's the case. Considering, like, most of them are from this side of the globe. So they're probably, like, spending time with their family or just, like, winding down, getting ready for travel. Because there's, like, a significant drop in activity as of April that I notice. You've been mostly working, not that I'm complaining about the hours because you like overtime? Oh, cool. There are people who like overtime like you because I guess this is because like they don't have any other plans, which is fine. But as long as the pay's good, you know? 1 second. I always like to put Sanique's glasses on a different layer because I like to manipulate it. This is how I shortcut glasses. Glasses on a different layer always makes sense since it's easier to reposition them without redrawing them mostly on the face in the process. Okay, exactly. You guys understand. You can also have the glasses on less of the altars. That's blasphemy! No, glasses are always required. Speaking of required, there's a character in Arknights. Her name is Wolfenite. She's a snake. Her base design has her wearing glasses. And they recently released a skin of her for an event on the CN server. And I thought, oh no, they're gonna take off her glasses. Like, no, she still has her glasses. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Because usually with characters who have glasses, the next iteration of them, like, the glasses are gone. I think the artist just really likes their character wearing glasses. You put a nerd in a cheerleader outfit, you keep the glasses on. Blue Archive. Oh wait, what character in Blue Archive is like that? Which one are you talking about? It's been a while, I don't play Blue Archive anymore. They're nerdy. Welcome to the stream, LeMay. Oh, Kataro. Sorry, Katori, excuse me. Because it's been a while. Blue Archive. Cheer Squad, here it is. Oh yeah, there she is. Glasses stay on. Oh, because her glasses are pretty iconic. With that little teardrop in it. It would be strange to see her without those. But there is a version of her without her glasses, which is kind of stupid. He has the teardrop glasses. Why would you take those off? Skin. Let me see if I can get a full picture. She only occasionally puts them back on for certain cutscenes in the cheerleader alt. Having them off is the default and it's heresy. One moment, I'm trying to get this set up. Tab. Okay. Okay, so I wonder if you can see this. Alright, on my screen I put Wolfenite as you get her. Here she is, she's a big snake lady. And you can see she has her glasses. But they recently announced a skin for her. Positional football championships. And there she is. She still has her glasses on. But I think they changed a little bit. They're more square, and they're pink now. She looks so cute. Oh my gosh. Look how cute she is, a cute snake. Also, tired eye bags and puffy eyes are nice too. Yeah. Does she have them here? No. Oh, kind of. But not here. got bandages on her legs. She still have those? No, she wears stockings, right? She reminds me of what's that girl? Kanan. Kaanan. From that manga, Kanan is hella easy. That's how cute she is. I can't wait for this skin to come out. I really like this character because she's just so funny. Um, the way she walks around in the base is just too funny. How do I describe it? She walks with like kind of like stiff legs. No, that doesn't make sense. She kicks her legs too high when she walks, and it looks very funny. Like she does it purposefully to exaggerate her walk cycle. And she smiles at you when you tap her. Clearly I should catch up on Arknights just for her. I think she's the welfare, so maybe you would have to get her through the restoration records. Yeah, she's like trotting. Yes, exactly. She's trotting, but it's like overly exaggerated where the trotting looks way too like she's trying to kick you or something. Like she's trying to kick whatever's in front of her. Maybe I can bring that up. A gif of it? No, but hope I can show this. This is what she does when you tap her. Zoom in. She's so small. She does the the peace sign, but she also bounces. I also love how she just holds things with her tail. She's so cute. She's a cutie. Oh my gosh. It's a default charming character. Also, I kind of wonder what type of snake she was. I think she might be a type of cobra. Just based off her E2 art. Does she think she's an idol? No, she's just a silly person. Like her job is like it's basically an archaeologist where she just goes to dig sites. But she just has a cheerful disposition. You know, like that type of character who's like, I'm ready for anything, I'm ready to go. She's that type of person. Fortunately, I don't have any other animations for her specifically. I should try to use her. She's probably one of the better characters. I don't remember if she was welfare, though. Let me see. Let me check. No, she was under standard headhunting. Okay. So you had to roll for her. Yeah, she's the go-getter. Yeah, sorry. You have to roll for this specialist character. She's not welfare. Sorry. I thought that she was. Um cat cobra. Am I gushing over Wolfenite? What am I doing? I'd say she's welfare. She's got to be a 4-star. That's not always the case. All right, there were gonna be another Monster Hunter collab. Yes, it got announced. All of the characters got announced today officially. There's Violet, Mitsune Orchid, and there's Zenogre Catapult. That's gonna come much later. I don't know what's gonna become of that, but considering there's a lot of horse characters and Arknights, I'm very curious as to who's gonna get picked. Besides the obvious trio of Pegasus in the game. I'm hoping that Narantuya gets picked because she's my favorite horse wife. Let's see, who else are horses? You're happy to see that Orchid gets an ult? Yeah, me too. Like, she's one of the better 3-star characters. Maybe Catapult would be less annoying. I hope so. Catapult is now a guard in the collab. She is classified as a mercenary guard. And that's a new archetype, and what that means is that their gear can change, which makes sense because she uses the charge axe. Sorry. Yes, the charge axe. Her S2 is the charged version of it. Am I remembering that correctly? Was that the name of it? No, it's called the Switchblade, isn't it? Switch Axe? Sorry, it's been a while since I last played Monster Hunter. Switch Axe, that's what it's called. Yes. So she has a Switch Axe. Her S1 is just the first form, and the S2 is the Switch Axe form where the big hit targets up to three enemies in the back. I'm hoping she doesn't talk so much. Base animation for both characters is essentially the emotes from Monster Hunter Rise. I think that's it. That's the crux of that. What else was there? The 1-star is the Palico and the Palamute. They're tactician vanguards. The Palamute is sent as the tactician point. But I believe it's a bit different. I think it's automatic on deployment. We love yappers. I don't love Catapult. Catapult will not shut up. I don't like her. Wouldn't be surprised if mainly stuck to the Casimir operators. I mean, yeah, they're mostly like 6 stars, but they're not the only horses in the game. Yap Nation, stop it. Because there's Fang Alter, there's Narantuya, there's that new caster who's also a horse. So he might get included. Unfortunately, I don't know how to pronounce his name because it's in Russian. He's the new horse. Who else is there? Besides the other 3. No, wait, she's a meerkat. She's not a horse. No, wait. That guy's a moose. Dang. Why is that like not a lot comes to mind? I would at least think, because it's a collab, I think it's gonna be used, or perhaps, yeah. It might be in the same format as Ave Majuka, where there are 5 characters crossing over into Arknights. However, with My Little Pony, it's going to be probably 6 characters. It's gotta be 6 characters. You gotta have all 6 of the main 6. And I'm wondering if that means there's gonna be 2 6-stars. It's the main 6. They're all 6-stars. No, that's not it. You know the Earth ponies are gonna be 5 stars. Sorry, I'm just thinking who would be the other 6-star. So they're just skins rather than ults. Or they're just skins rather than ults. I don't know. That's the thing, I'm not sure. Like, I'm just speculating here what the... If it's another isekai story, then the main 6 would be showing up. Twilight Sparkle would definitely be a 6-star. Maybe Rainbow Dash would be the other one because she's the second most popular. Would be a 6-star. And the rest maybe 5 stars. It would be 2 5-stars on Rate Up and 2 welfare units. And I'm guessing that the Earth Ponies will be the welfare, and the other 2, which would be... what's her name? Fluttershy and Rarity would be the Rate Up. I'm speculating that right now. Sorry, it's been a while. I used to have like 2 plushies that were from My Little Pony, but I gave them to my niece. And I just forgot about their name for a second there. So yeah, that's my take. It might be Rainbow Dash as a 6-star, Twilight Sparkle as a 6-star, Rarity as a 5-star, Fluttershy as a 5-star on Rate Up, Applejack and Pinkie Pie as welfare. There. And the thing is, I don't know if it's their pony forms, their original forms, or their human-like forms, but they have different colors. All I know is that when it comes to collabs, like, Arknights is very, very faithful to the source. So I'm more curious as to, like, which form they're gonna pick. The human-like forms or the horse forms. You just basically saw Lauren Faust's MLP as basically the second coming of Sonic the Hedgehog and all the horrible OCs and the fandoms that entail. Yeah, especially because it got popular with the male audience, which I found pretty funny. Like, it's a series for children, but it got popular with adult men. I don't know how that worked. To each their own, you know? Just as long as it's not weird about it. You think some art of the Neural's uncle and oh, you mean Milnar? Milnar and Pinkie Pie. Yeah, she probably would naturally be drawn to the biggest grouch of the. Yeah, of course. Pinkie Pie and Milnar. That would be funny. Dark Knight. Hold on, I want to show you guys something. Here's another theory crafting. MLPs as operators, which is pretty funny. Or operators as MLPs. And Mia for MLP collab. Doctor, please focus on finishing your work. Oh, hold on. I'm pretty sure Milnar is a Pegasus. Yeah, he's a Pegasus. But it's, I don't know, it's kept. The thing is, when it comes to My Little Pony, male characters aren't really favored that heavily. So this is why I'm thinking it might be female-centric in general. That's why I'm thinking I'm moving away from the idea of like they're gonna pick Milnar about that. About that collab. Well, sorry, with that collab. What am I saying? I can't even talk today. So they're definitely gonna favor dang, oh my gosh. Neural the Radiant Knight, Blemishine, Wishlash, possibly Aang. I'm really hoping Narantuya. Why am I like blinking on the rest of the dang horses? There's definitely more. Probably because they're probably like banished to the 5-star pool and I don't care about that as much as I should. I heard it started as a joke, unfortunate, and then it became serious. Huh. I wonder where the devs lurk in their off time. Because they get ideas from different places. Getting away from that, there is something I like to see done story-wise. I like to see Dusk and Deep Color interacting somehow, seeing as both paint things to life. I understand where you're coming from, but Deep Color is clearly a sus character. I'm sorry to say this, but it's true. Because she's believed to be what's it called, Seaborn, and she just paints because she's trying to understand the people of the land. But for Deep Color, it's her, well, it's her career, but also it's her form of expression. Like, she actually paints like an actual artist would. However, I think Dusk wouldn't care for deep color because deep color manipulates maliciously, while Dusk manipulates her paintings as like, I don't want to be bothered. Oh, and by the way, if you've kept up with Enfield, Dusk is technically in that game, but as a entity. Her Faramute heart is in Enfield, and she talks to operators through her butterflies. I'm sure it end catastrophically. It's just a difference between a traditional safe for work artist and a not safe for work artist. Where, with all the tentacles, deep color paints. Like I said, deep color paints in hopes to manipulate her target. Excuse me. The problem is because she's unfortunately a 4-star, she doesn't get to have more summons, which I think is BS. Because her summons are actually really good. Is this no longer working? Sorry, I'm trying to do something on this website here. This is not working at the moment. Odd. Alright, I gotta move on. Nice art, thank you. Thank you very much. One moment, I'm trying to figure out something. Portfolio pieces are just practice. It's actually more for fun. I made this page because I'm kind of copying another artist called Reno Tuna. Excuse me. And I like the way they make their character pages, even though their character pages don't really have names, they just have personalities. And I want to get into the habit of doing the same thing. But the thing is, I think my guy just draws for hours on end, and I don't have that type of time. Back when he was on Twitch, he would draw for like Hell, even his like chat was like, "Is this gonna be another 7-hour stream?" I'm like, "This guy's here for 7 hours, just drawing on this giant page." Okay. This flops again. I'm gonna drop it. So 7 hours, no sleep, no food. I think he does take breaks to eat, but he just doesn't leave the stream. Granted, those are the olden times because Twitch is no longer available in Korea. But his streams would be on average 4 to 5 hours long. Maybe 7 is if he has more time or if he's in that groove. One moment, I have to check something else. Alright, I was gonna take care of what I was doing later. To be honest, 5 seems to be higher but still reasonable. I would do 3, and that's only once a week. I need to do more, really. Yeah, I can do 3 once. Well, this is why I'm here streaming. I can only do like 3. Because at some point, your body's gonna protest, especially if you sit down to draw. I heard it's worse if you have to stand and draw, but that's a completely different story. That's for the hardcore traditionalists who study the old-fashioned way. Let's see. Is there a center part for... I don't think there's a center part. I'm gonna just do that. But, yeah, he often draws these, collection of characters onto one page, and he would find time to draw them and paint them. You can find them all over his social media, but it's kind of scattered everywhere, like, because he has an Instagram, I think he has a Twitter, and then he has his, like, full-length projects, which is where he takes an object or an animal and he turns it into a person. You don't know, you've done treadmill streams. Those are usually 3 hours of walking. Now, that's pretty good. It should be brush backwards. You wouldn't be able to walk or draw though. No, you wouldn't. You used to be able to draw for 7 to 8 hours with breaks. I don't think you have to stand them anymore. Oof. I don't think I was ever able to do that, to be fair. Because, like, I think even back when I did have time, I just wouldn't do that. Where am I putting this arm? Because there was always something else for me to do. So I wouldn't be able to do that. Plus, I feel like I'll be missing out on stuff. And I know that, like, oh, well, if you're that hardcore, you would commit the hours into it, but, like, after a while, there's a loss of, quality in the work. Because you have not taken a break in a while. Again, why does this look so strange? This is on a space, that's why. Oof. You think it's possible? You mean you often draw till the iPad tells me it's out of battery? I think drawing in intervals is recommended. There are people who recommend 20 minutes at a time, a half hour at a time with 20-minute breaks. It really is up to you as long as there is a break in there. Because it's one thing that most people are is that they're their own worst boss. That they can't even give themselves a break. Now that makes sense. Oh, I'm behind on the chat. You've tried drawing during transport before, but you gave up on that. Not knowing when there might be a bump in the road to throw off line work was something I couldn't abide. That's true. There are people who draw during their commute, but actually, one of my study partners says that she would try to draw people on the metro or on the bus, and they would give her dirty looks when they would catch her, so she stopped doing it. I'm like, I don't think it's an offensive thing to do is to draw a person. I don't understand that. I understand why people would feel that way, but whatever. People are strange. But yeah, that's not. I think it's fine on the metro because you would imagine that the railroad would be like well maintained enough so you don't hit bumps and such, but perhaps not on the bus. Definitely not on a bus. Definitely not in a car. Unless it's a long stretch of road and there's not a lot of bumps anyway. That's probably fine. What is there? There's also those cross-country railways where you can just draw without problems. Like I'm thinking about the bullet trains in Japan, but I'm sure there's other trains that are cross-country that allows you to have a smooth ride. You knew a professor who would make you write how much time you spent on a work. He would make his students draw every day. What? Write how much time you spent on a work. Oh, he gives... It's like a moment of reflection. I wish my professor did that. They didn't. They're kind of phoning it in. It takes you a while to get into it, but when you do, there's no stopping. Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Just lose time when I invest in something. Put your head down and draw a pose before you know it, it's 5 hours are gone. That is true. But there are times where, like, I'm drawing And like I'm nearly finished with something, I look up and I'm like, oh, not a lot of time has passed. So it's like, huh. It's a weird feeling when you're at that level where you draw something and I'm like, oh gosh, I probably spent like forever on this, and it turns out I haven't. Some peeps get a little nervous if they feel like they're being watched. I mean, that's true. But that's the reason why she switched to just drawing their shoes, and they still got offended by that, which I found very strange. Like, okay, I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at your feet now, and you're still giving me guff about it. So she's like, I just gave up on drawing people on the train. That would be a reason, unfortunately. Yours would be... Actually, we're tired. Yours will go out that way. I wonder if I should make it deflated. I should probably do that. Hold on. Yeah. Yesterday you watched a few tutorials on perspective, etc. Started applying it and it was 12 p.m. I looked down and looked up again and it was 3 in the morning. No, sorry, 12 in the morning. Okay, 12 a.m. Okay. Dang. Like, 12 hours. Are you crazy? I'm sorry, that's 6 hours, but you know what I mean. 6 hours, wow. Some people are mean. Yeah, that's true. Some people are mean. Especially when you're drawing about them. Like, yeah, I get it. I get what Osh said. Some people don't want to be stared at. Like, that's understandable. An artist needs to look at you in order to draw you. But I'm just trying to get some work in before the day starts. And this is the perfect opportunity to do it. It just sucks that, like, people are just that way about it. Oh, speaking of perspective, one of the reasons why I drew this chair and desk is a perspective study in itself. I hope I did it right. Yeah, I just need to straighten out some lines. Nope. Don't rotate. I know the best way to study perspective is to use a ruler, which I highly recommend. Study perspective using a ruler, because eventually you become good enough where you don't need the ruler. I'm not gonna draw the rest of the desk because that's a bit too much. The world's full of mean. Just want to draw it out and it could be good. Used to draw your classmates. That's pretty cool. You get little spurts when I get obsessed over something and then I draw it and then do it again and again and again and then for a long period of just meh. Just meh. Oh, because you spent your energy. Yeah, that makes sense. Have you guys like ever had a moment where you draw something and you're like, oh, I didn't like the way that turned out, so I'm just gonna start all over again? But you don't take a break? That was me yesterday. I had to force myself to take a break. because wow, I would have burnt myself out had I not done that. Because I drew something. I was studying it's called the Sorrow Head. I was studying that because it's been a while since I have. And I wanted to do that in preparation for my study group today. And it's always a good idea to revisit your fundamentals in general. But then I looked at one part of my study and compared to the other part of my study, and it's clear that the other part, which I divided into like the top of the page looked terrible. The bottom of the page looked great. So I'm like, I gotta start this again on a new page, and just the ones that I messed up. Yeah, all the time. All the time I'm working on something right now and it's making you mad. But if you don't want to start over, do you just take a break and step away from it? And I don't mean step away from it long enough where you're like, I'm just never going to finish it. You don't think there's anything wrong with drawing if you're studying? I get that creeps exist, but it's just art in the end of the day. Yeah. And I think it's weird that there are people, like the people who do get offended, they probably think like, oh, they're probably drawing me all weird and funny and making me look bad. And like, not people act in bad faith, you know? If you're interesting enough that someone wants to draw you, wouldn't you be like a bit flattered? I mean, I think I would be. Actually, that happened to me once. Like, someone wanted to draw me on the metro, and like I was I was honored, but I felt bad because I had to get off like really soon. So it sucked that I had to leave so soon. Like, I wish that artist had showed up sooner. Because I get it. I get that he wants to, like, draw people. But that's the drawback. When you draw people in the metro, they have to eventually get up and leave. You end up readapting stuff every now and then. You fix one thing and something else looks off. Ooh, I know that feeling. You fix one thing and something else looks off. Oof. I know that feeling all too well. I think that's what happened to me yesterday when I was drawing those heads. Like, I was drawing it and I'm like, huh, that looks okay. And then I realized the relationship between certain parts of it were starting to get all wonky. And I'm like, you know what? I've invested this much time into this. I'm not gonna erase anything. I'm just gonna start again. Because that's the better approach. Don't try to salvage it if it's that far gone. Make any sense? This does not make sense. Yes, well, I am talking about traditional because that was the problem I had yesterday. I was drawing traditionally and I would time is better spent starting over than trying to correct, because at that point the more I erased, the more the paper suffered and my corrections wouldn't matter anyway, so just might as well just start again. But when you draw traditionally, you can't do a canvas flip. You have to use a mirror. But the thing is, I don't use a mirror. I just simply step back from my art and look at it at a distance. Digital artists are spoilt with no rubber damage. No damaged rubbers, that's true. But yeah, that's why even in digital art, I still use my eraser because sometimes it's faster than using the undo button. I know that's a really strange thing to say, but I feel that it is. And there's just certain things I don't want to undo. I can get back to you guys. I'm a little bit behind. You only really take a break if you're overwhelmed. If I see something I don't like, or I kind of sit back and see what I could do better to adapt it. But mostly draw willy-nilly. Okay, okay. Canvas flip is a must? I think sometimes. I mean, I do use my canvas flip pretty often, but I don't want to rely too heavily on certain things, you know? Because eventually you'll become a crutch. Whoop. Oh. Should make a meeting point here. The hair makes sense. Cool. Because of the way Sonic's hair is, it should have a natural part. It doesn't have a true part, but a natural part would be like a circular one, where it meets at one point. One moment, I'm still behind. You did an entire year of traditional sketching. After that, you moved to digital. Should do it again one day. Oh, okay. I would highly recommend it. You get what you're saying, but you think you should use any tool to ensure your work looks and feels right. That's true. I know, like, growing up, there are people who were, for some reason, anti-ruler. What's it called? The shapes tool? Because they believed, oh, you should just draw that by hand. Like, that's... Well, that's your belief, for one thing. But there are stencils in real life and rulers in real life, and I'm just saying, if it's there, you should probably use it, especially if you're doing technical work, such as perspective. A ruler would help you out. If you're just doing it without a ruler, then it's gonna look weird. And it's a strange type of elitism, to be honest. Just like how I do recall the whole stabilization flex on your digital brushes, where the lower your number, the better you are as an artist, supposedly. That was the flex. Such a strange flex. Oh wait, I've been talking so much. I'm being left behind here from the conversation. Not because you don't consider it a crutch if it helps achieve a goal. That's me though. That's okay. When in doubt, vibe it out. Everyone has their own approach. You can respect that. Okay. It does, but I think I'm just out of practice. I see. There are people on Twitter shouting down at artists who use 3D models to aid in their art. That's crazy because perspective is hard especially for the human body. Welcome to the stream, Yusra Ali. Because 3D models are really cool. They're really helpful. And they do save a lot of time, especially for shortening, right? So I'm like, why would you talk down to people who use those tools? Like, there's an artist that I like. Their name is Skade, Skade, and as beautiful as their art is, as detailed as their art is, I can see the 3D model in their art. For example, there's a character called Passenger, and in his E2 art, one of his hands is clearly 3D, and I realize that because it looks a bit traced over. I think another person that they made was Opanius' skin, or the closed hand on the sword also looks 3D modeled. But I'm like, whatever helps save you time, I don't really care. Because the rest of the art is beautiful, and those things don't really stand out unless you're being, unless you're scrutinizing it like that much. I have an itch. Excuse me. I think you should use any tool to aid you, but I don't consider it a weakness and that it makes anyone inferior. People just need different tools. Yeah, it's definitely an accessibility thing. And to like chastise someone for using a tool is a bit strange. I understand abusing tools is a thing, but that's not what's happening here. Just, I need this thing to save me some time, otherwise I'm gonna be at this for what feels like an eternity. So I feel that. Especially if you have to hit a deadline, because Skade's work is for a company and you need tools to save you time. Because companies don't care if you don't meet your deadline. It just shows you that you are unreliable. And for those who are just using 3D models as like for funsies or just to understand how it works, they're getting ahead of the game. They want to understand how their kit, which is what, yeah, Clip Studio Paint is technically my kit. I want to understand how my kit works, so I would like to like flesh out and use those things eventually, because there are 3D models on this, but I never got around to exploring them. At least I never got around to exploring them again, because it's been a while since I digitally draw. To be honest, I sit here like once or twice a week just to digitally draw. Otherwise, I'm just working. And for those who work, having a 3D model to help save you time on something that you do just for fun, or maybe for work, like, why lambaste them for that? You don't use 3D models, but you use references. You still draw from sight. Usually add your own things, but again, any tool should be fine if it meets the brief. And yeah, one artist made a 3D tool specifically for helping draw Midna's helmet. Exactly! Oh my gosh, Midna's helmet is the most complicated thing ever, and people who love to draw Midna, they don't want to spend time drawing that again and again and again. So if there's an asset that allows you to put the helmet on the character regardless of the position that they're in, more power to them. Exactly, exactly. You can't find the reference you need, so people make it in 3D. To me, that's clever. Them deadlines, exactly. Why suffer if you can find something that makes the work easier and you gotta meet deadlines? If these people couldn't draw or were generated everything via AI, okay, but nothing was made by these people. For someone to go away and pose a model to give them the perspective and shapes they need, yes. That especially, so. I feel like I've been yapping a lot. I've been yapping a lot, but it's only 10:30, so that's good. Because I thought I was losing track of time. I've seen complaints about me, like, let's say using myself as an example, like, I've seen complaints where in those speed paint videos where the artist doesn't record their primary, and there are people who watch that and I'm like, why didn't you draw the initial sketch? I wanted to see that. I wanted to see that. Because, like, maybe they didn't think about it in hindsight, or maybe they thought that no one would be interested in that. Only very few people are interested in the initial rough sketch of a speed paint. But yeah, people will complain about anything. let's be for real. Hold on. Yapping is good. Sorry, it's just if you're distracting. I just respect artists greatly. You like to think of yourself as one, even if you're not great as many. I mean, yeah, that's true. Like, I have days where I think I'm not the best, even though it's clear that I have a lot of evidence that I've improved drastically over the years. And yet I still have that sort of imposter syndrome about me. Probably because, like, I do, even though I shouldn't do this. I do subconsciously compare myself to others. But I really am, at the end of the day, comparing myself to my old self. Because I do have work in the past that, like, is fairly okay. Like, I'm often shocked of how well I drew a skull back then, even though I wasn't really studying skulls back then. I was just like, I just was able to capture it. Granted, it was kind of wonky, and I was feeling some type of way about it. But, I had it in me, so I just pursued that. I just kept drawing bones to a point where I was just hard copying them out of a book. And then I stopped for a while because that was really tedious. And then I went back to drawing those again, but I learned how to make those into simple shapes. And once you learn how to make something like bones into simple shapes, you start to draw them quickly and start to understand them better. I think the hardest part about drawing bones is remembering their names. Thankfully, I know where they are, but their names are often the hardest part to remember. Oh my gosh. the ears visible? Okay. Okay, so this would be a pose where there's no glasses, so we're gonna find a way to put glasses back into this picture. Make them a bit smaller though. Make them extra funny. I'd say if the face is down on the desk, the ears should be sticking straight up. I mean, yeah, but I'm also thinking like there might be sleeping. I don't know if it's fanned out or sticking straight up. I suppose, yeah, face down, they would be going backward, right? They wouldn't be going that far back. Okay. That's a good point, Hedgecat. Let me, redo this. Fade this out. Yeah, I was a bit worried that the ears would disappear into the hair. So maybe changing. Actually, that I just realized the other ear was in the wrong position. This should actually be more further back over here. So good advice there, actually, because I was able to go back and review my work. Bone names are good if you want to impress a doctor. And then they're gonna be like, wow, you are very knowledgeable. What do you do? Like, oh, I'm just an artist. I just like to study bones. I'm sure, like, archaeologists would also know bones. Because that would make sense, too. And, archivists? I guess it depends. If you're a historical archivist, you would know the names of bones as well. Bring back his hair. I think that looks better. The ears kind of got bigger, but I like big fluffy ears. You just spent my time learning the landmarks, mostly. Yeah, that's how you always first start out, learning the landmarks. And then eventually, like, you have to familiar yourself with the actual names. Because I believe it's, if you know the names, you know what they are, you know what they do, you know where they're located. So it's more of a familiarity thing, but, like, is it really necessary? No, not necessary. I think it just makes you more knowledgeable. Also, learning the names of the muscles. Oh, I I can't remember all the muscles in the legs or the arms. I can remember some of them in the torso. And I can recall... The thing is, the human body has too many muscles. I can only recall, like, the surface muscles. I cannot... I don't know, I cannot tell you the ones that are up against the bones for the life of me. The deep muscles, that's what they're called. I don't know their names. At all. Hey, the chat's going too fast. Okay, it's the rest position. Okay, when it depends with cats, they do airplane when they're stressed. Dogs, for example, if they're lying down, would still have their ears pointed up if they have strong ear muscles. Right. You did choose the hairstyle in game specifically for the ears to blend in with the hairstyle. Ah, okay. I know every bone tests you. Different rules for different species. The tibula is connected to the fibula. You know the pelvis and the torso. Femur is one, right? Yes. You just need to know the volumes and how they transpose into shapes. Even then, it's hard. Hard though. It's hard to remember. Here's the thing. Like, you just mentioned the leg bones, right? The lower leg bones. The tibula and the fibula are connected to each other. However, this one always trips me up. One is higher than the other. You know what I mean? Like, one bone is higher than the other when connected to the tarsus, which is the foot bone. And I often have to tell myself, hey, the tibula is the shorter one, but it's the thicker one. Thick tibula, fragile fibula. Fibula is lower. And then, like, there is the ankle bone. The ankle bone has its own name, which is the malleus. There's the medial malleus, which is the inner part, which is the inside of your ankle. And then there's the lateral malleus. Malleolus? Excuse me, which is the lateral side, which is the outside of your ankle bone. What else was there? Fibula is connected to the tibula by means of tendon and the patella. There's also the tibular process, which connects to the tendon for the patella. The patella, when the knee is bent, is with the head of the femur. The lower head of the femur. Then there's the greater trochanter, which is that bone that sticks out like a my gosh, ball and socket joint of the fibula. Looks like it looks like this. I know for a fact. I just know what it looks like, but the name will always escape me. So this is the greater trochanter, but this often escapes me. You know what I mean? I know that this part connects to the pelvis because it allows the leg to rotate. That's why it looks like that. It's a ball and socket bone, but I cannot remember the name of that head. Then there's the pelvic. There's the asis, which is the anterior inferior. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. Asis. Anterior, superior, iliac. What is What's the S stand for? You know what I mean? This is, yeah, this is exactly why. This is why studying bones is so hard. Anterior, superior, iliac. Surface? Is that what the S is for? It can't be surface. That's ridiculous. What was the name? It's not surface, it's spine. Oh my gosh. Anterior, superior, iliac, spine. It's just a fancy way of saying, like, this is on the front at the top part of the spine of your pelvis. That's ridiculous. And the reason why the ace is often so important because, like, that's where the obliques go. The obliques always sit on top of that part of the pelvis. And that's the one thing you have to remember. That's also a landmark. Iliac crest, brother. And then there's the sacrum, which is often seen as a triangle. I know there's another one called the, no, that's not correct. Inferior. Superior? I'm not gonna remember it, no. I'm not gonna bring it up here. But yeah, you know what I mean. The aura borealis is the type of gait that is the type of step localized in your entire ankle. What? Borealis. I don't understand what you meant at all. I remember also finding it's interesting how all the body is in symmetry. If you have a bump on one side, chances are there's a one on the other side, but lower. Yes. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Hold on. The sidebar here. Let's find some space for this. Draw it like this. So this is the tibia, right? And the bottom here looks like a wrench head, right? And then you have the fibula, which is over here. It just kisses it over here. It goes down here, but it also goes like that. So this would be higher. And this would be lower. And then here's your foot. Your tarsus. But then I know that if I were to draw this section right here, this part is called a process, the tibia process. And that's connected by a tendon to the patella, which is your kneecap. Then there's the head of the femur, which you can visualize as a cylinder. I'm not gonna draw the whole dang bone, but you can see what I'm going with, right? Like, this is almost always in a neutral stance. The patella is between both bones, but the moment the leg has to bend at the knee, the patella goes up with the femur. And wait, hold on. Before I erase this, the leg, the entirety of the leg and the arms are basically two sides of the same coin. Let's say the radius and the ulna. Wait, which one had the radius rotates? So it has that hinge bone. The radius next to the wrist. Then there's the ulna, which I think is located like that. But you can see the ulna because it's on the pinky side of the hand. I'm sorry, not the hand. Yeah, the pinky side of the wrist. And that's how you, like, remember which side the thumb goes, which side the pinky goes. Because the thumb always stems from the wrist. The wrist bones would be, like, right here. This is a really big forearm, but you understand what I mean. Like, it connects to the humerus, which is a cylinder, too. So yeah, the ulna and the radius, the tibula and the fibula are basically the same, essentially. Except, the radius has the ability to twist your arm, your forearm. In fact, I recall it would look like your bones would look like this when you rotate your arm. Because this always goes over. The radius will always go over. And that's my little bone lesson. Thanks for coming to my bone lesson. Someone's already planning to speak to a doctor later. The wrist bone is connected to the thumb bone, yes. It's more like the thumb bone's connected to the wrist bone. Analyzing it as an artist, that is. I'm sure doctors see it differently. Yeah, doctors do see it differently. Why do they call it a solar plexus if there ain't no sun there? Solar plexus. Oh, that's a word I haven't heard in a while. Let's actually sidebar and look that up. No, I don't want that. So a solar... Oh, it's the upper abdomen. It's the pit of your stomach. So it's called the solar plexus is because it is technically facing the sun when you walk. Yeah, the sun is in one soul. There you go, exactly. Especially there, solar plexus seems to be located behind the stomach. And far down the sternum. Informative, yeah. Oh yeah, a better way to remember what the sternum is sternum would be the gladiolus, which is another word for sword. Yeah, but it also looks like a necktie, which is a way easier way of visualizing that. The clavicle looks like bicycle handles. The scapula is a spade, which is the source of its name. Carpus is the wrist, metacarpal is the palm bones, and phalanxes are the fingers. I'm not sure if phalanxes is used for toes, however. Knowledge is strong with this one yet. Thank you, thank you. I should draw the clothes on this character. But, yeah, that's how I was able to remember some of the bones, because they look like other objects. And even in the anatomy books that I have here, they also make those comparisons. And the origin of the names of these bones, as well as the muscles, actually do make sense. For example, the deltoid is called the deltoid because there's 3 muscles there. But also, it kind of makes a triangular shape if it's big enough. There's also the gastrometrius, which are your calf muscles. Which makes sense because you need your calves to go as it propels you. And there's also the bicep femoris, which are your hamstrings. If those are your hamstrings, then your quads would be your leg equivalent of your triceps, but with one more muscle attached to them. What else was there? One more thing. This... No. That's not how you pronounce it. Yeah, the serratus looks like a sawtooth... sawtooth saw. Latissimus is a big flat muscles on your back. The trapezius looks like a bridge, but it's also... Yeah, it looks like a bridge, which you would have to use a cross between the shoulders. Erector spine is pretty straightforward. It keeps your spine erect. I'm just going off the top of my head, and I still can't remember everything. Okay, yeah, I'm done with that. I think I want to... Where is she? In the middle? Yes, you're in the middle. So, my plan was to... For the middle one, she's gonna get colored. But I want to put more detail into her. Also, I'm gonna change her outfit. Just for the sake of it. Make her look more dinky. Need a reference here. Oh, where it was. Looks like expression sheets, good ones. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for. But I made mine a bit wider. Maybe I should change... Not change, move this one a little bit over. I didn't like how empty that spot was down there. I want to get into the habit of making these expression sheets, as ECG Stitch said. This would be like my first stepping stone. I suppose if I was like Reno Tuna and just sat here for hours, I would have finished it in one sitting. But I don't got that type of time. do? I know that artist specifically is a teacher, so it makes sense that he spends all those hours getting good. Wait, hold up. This is the wrong layer. It's a good way to get in the character's headspace. You remember making a joke in your art class back in the day? We were being taught by the guy who would draw Winnie the Pooh. Wow, what an opportunity! He told us that there were expressions that were explicitly told to never put on Winnie, and one of them was angry. Winnie was not allowed to look angry? Interesting. But like, I guess this is when Disney had Winnie. Uh, they kind of made him a little bit angry. But I think he was actually annoyed. I asked him to draw it, and I immediately got wild. This reminds me of that artist who worked with Disney. His name is James Baxter. He was an animator that worked on Beauty and the Beast. And he was teaching a class, and one of the students asked, "Hey, can you draw a horse?" And he said, "Why?" Because horses are very complicated to draw. And I think that was a running joke with him, up until, well, the joke came back with Adventure Time, where you saw that horse. Yeah, the student asked, "Can you draw a horse on a ball?" Like, no, I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. But I'm pretty sure there was an animation where there was a horse on a barrel. So someone was able to do that. But a ball would be too complicated because you would be stressing out the ball and animating the horse balancing itself on the ball. And the reason they asked him was because he was in charge of animating the ballroom scene in the original Beauty and the Beast, and it was the most fluid animation of the whole movie. This might have to pop out on its own, actually. Yeah. Angry Winnie the Pooh with sharp teeth and rage-fueled. Felt wrong to see a rage-fueled Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, it does. That's why when Disney lost a license, there was those Winnie the Pooh horror movies for a very short while, and not a lot of people cared for that. No. Getting my stuff in order here. Still amusing to see though, because you mainly get it once you see it. Beauty and Beast animation is exceptional. The cloth, the crazy details. You saw some of the proofs of those life drawing sessions of the animators did crazy good, yeah. And that's why studying those life drawing classes is important. I'm trying to find a place here in my city where I can do a session on on the cheap. Like I don't want to subscribe to a schedule. Like just I want to come and drop in, do a session, and then like pretty much study on my own. Excuse me. I do recall one I went 2 years ago, but they moved. Either they moved or they went out of business, so I had to find another one. And I found one that's actually close to my friend's house, surprisingly. I did not know that they were even there. So I'm gonna check them out. When I have some free time, of course. And there's also another one, but they're pretty far away, and I don't want to carry up my stuff all the way over there. Did I study life drawing? Yes, I did. I did several life drawing classes. But that was back when I was really bad. Well, I wouldn't say really bad. I was really bad at understanding what I was looking at. Like, I can draw from imagination, I can draw from other images, but drawing from a real person was something that I really struggled with back then. Specifically because I wasn't sure. Back then I didn't know how to measure the height of the models to fit on my page. I have to understand that the model kind of shifts their body a bit because they get uncomfortable. And another thing was that you're time restricted, so you don't have a lot of time to draw the model. And this was back when I had no sense of like how to draw quickly. So it sucked drawing back then with very little technique and very little understanding of how to do it. The hand-eye thing, yes. Technically, it's the hand-mind thing. You forgot what it's called. Quick poses. Yeah. The thing is, it wasn't 30 minutes. At the end of these quick poses, there's always this long pose, and those would last about 20 to 25 minutes, and then that's the end of the session. So those life drawing lessons would start like with I believe it was 30-second poses, 1-minute poses, 2-minute poses, 5-minute, no, 3-minute poses, 5-minute poses, 10-minute poses, and then a break, and then 20-minute poses, and if there's time, a long pose. And those would vary with time because I often think that it's around 20 to 25 minutes. Yeah, it's supposed to be 30 minutes, but it's also whatever time you have left. So I always think that it's about 25 minutes at most. Because the Monterey's at the time wasn't really paying attention to the timer, by which I mean the clock. Because it's the end of the day. Well, not the end of the day, it's the end of the session. So they know how long that's supposed to take. I think that palm is too long. And back then, I felt like I wasn't really learning anything because I wasn't sure what the heck I was trying to do. Like, yeah, I was drawing, but I wasn't understanding at all. And it wasn't until, like, what was it? What year was it? Around, I think it was around 2020 or 2021. 2021, that's what it was. Is when I took a course on how learning how to draw. We had 2-hour blocks, but at the end, 30 minutes was the time you got to sit with things. Everything before that was quick fire, as many poses as possible within an hour and a half. Not you either. Uni was full on. We had other things to do. Yeah. But that was the thing, that this was not uni. It was just like a place to go to learn how to draw. But the irony of that is that it felt more like a place where you pay to rent the space and draw at your leisure, because oftentimes the instructor was not present and no one was really checking your work. So you can just pretty much show up, rent the space, and draw whatever the heck you wanted. But I was there to learn, which made it really frustrating when the instructor is often out. And it's clear that they cater to people of all ages, but it's mostly adults. And the last time I was there, it was mostly people who were retired. So yeah, it's clear that people who are retired, they have a lot of time on their hands now, but they're not really teaching them anything. They're just like, this is a place to spend your time, I guess. I'm hoping that they improved since the last time I was there. I don't know if I'll ever revisit, because at the cost that you pay to quote-unquote learn, it's a little bit too pricey. Maybe it's pricier now than it was back then, because I paid for the month. Yeah, 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks, and you only go there twice a week. Eh. Yeah, you've done those like you were doing with your organizer's house. Did one in Canterbury. Just aspirational professional artists come together. You paid €30 each, one session. That's pretty cool. It's a lot more accessible than whatever the heck I was working with. But I just wish that they were honest. Like, I found another studio that's actually honest, where they're like, okay, you pay, I think it was $2,700 dollars for a year. So you spend a whole year with them, every day, learning with them. And they teach you how to sculpt, they teach you how to paint, and they teach you how to draw. And they produce a lot of beautiful work. Like, they are very serious about producing good, fantastic quality work. But there is also another place that's a lot cheaper. The way the guy advertises his place, he says, hey, it's just an art gym. You come here to practice what you already know. I'm like, I appreciate that level of honesty, you know? There's lots of different ones. Yeah, noise. I appreciate that one because, oh, you're just here to, like, get better and draw with a small group of people, small group of like-minded people who also want to improve. So calling yourself an equivalent of a gym just makes sense. Did you enjoy it? Get a lot from it? From the place I went to, I'm not talking about the art gym. I have not been to that place. I've only heard about them through YouTube, and I didn't realize they were in my city. So that was cool. I do want to check them out eventually. Uh, but again, it's really far from my home. But the place that I was talking about, I did not enjoy my time there at all. I tried to because I really was adamant about learning, but I felt often lost and often alone. Alone and lonely. That sucks when you're in a room full of people because like yeah, everyone's nice, but they mostly keep to themselves. I think there was only one class that I attended and the instructor was actually there and it was a bit of a relief because he was he actually wanted to teach people and that was pretty refreshing. Like, oh wow, you showed up. That's oddly refreshing for this place, which is not something you should say because the main advertisement of of the establishment is that hey, this is what the lessons are going to be. This is who you're going to be working with. This is their work, and yet I had a guy who just was not who would show up like one time the whole time I was there. He wasn't giving guidance. The guy that I had the positive experience with gave me guidance. Everyone else a little bit. So the guy who was absent, the day that he showed up, gave me some guidance. He gave me some advice, but he still wasn't completely present. If you understand what I mean, because like he's in charge of this giant classroom with 2 sessions. There's the long drawing side, and then there's the quick pose side. So yeah, he just goes around the room, gives them advice, and that's it. So I gave up on that guy, and I moved on to another person. He was actually an instructor. I had a better experience with him because he actually wanted to teach me how to draw, but I still could not grasp what he was saying. And it was made even more difficult when he said like, oh, I don't draw the way that I teach. And I'm just like, why not? Why not? Why don't you? Because his work is really beautiful. He knows how to sculpt. His drawings are beautiful. His paintings are beautiful. Like, how come you're not teaching us that? Like, I just don't understand. And the last person I drew was the last instructor. He was really cool too. He does give good critique. I just wish I got a bit more out of him. That's my only critique of him. I wish I got more out of him. Because the irony of him being an instructor is that he works with the class. Like, he draws along with them. He's drawing with the model. He's keeping track of the time because he's also there to improve. I also really liked his story regarding another student back when he was young. How that student really wanted to be taught by this one instructor and would do anything to do it, and he did. The story goes is that I don't. Gosh, it's been a while. So I'm gonna try to recall it the best that I can. This student really wanted this one instructor to teach him. So the instructor said, if you want to learn, I want you to go all the way to this butcher shop, tell them that I sent you, and request a roll of parchment paper. Butcher paper, yeah, basically. And I want you to fill that entire roll with drawings. And when you do that, come back and ask me again. And he filled up that entire roll of butcher paper. He came right back, and the instructor did not deny him. He just taught him because he wanted to see if he would commit. Because there are people who ask them to like draw, but they don't commit. So if you can go over that hurdle and prove that you're ready to commit, then yeah, you're gonna get your instructor's attention. Excuse me. Lots of people, so you can't get one-to-one help. Sounds like a missed opportunity, yeah. But I get it, I understand. This is why I prefer the way I'm learning right now, which is indeed strictly online, which is fine. I don't mind that. I don't mind that as much. As long as I'm still getting feedback, that's what's important to me. Because that's what I needed the most. I needed feedback. Otherwise, I just like I could be making the same mistakes over and over again, which I find that I was. One of which was that I draw noses too flat. I'm not drawing the tip of the nose correctly. And without that insight, I would still be making that mistake. So I'm doing my best to draw the tip of the nose. Especially when I'm drawing heads. But I guess here, when you draw like anime characters, it doesn't matter because their noses are barely present on their faces anyway. But when drawing a real person, you have to pay attention and draw their nose. Oftentimes that has a lot of character, especially there's something I do like to do. I don't like to overemphasize the nasal cavity, especially a connection point between the rest of the nose and nasal cavity, because oftentimes that does not look flattering on certain people, especially women. That's why I do my best to simplify that shape. But for men, it's probably one of the more interesting aspects of their face, so I draw that as is. At the same time, people need encouragement, and if they keep feeling they are more likely to give up. Yeah. And that's why I gave up in that place, because, like, I wasn't, well, for one thing, I wasn't understanding the assignment, and I was not improving despite how often I was going there. So I needed to go to a professional. And now my art has improved drastically. And I do recall a time where I told myself, hey, I'm never going to draw realistically. I'm never going to draw a real person. And here I did. I drew a semi-realistic person right up there. So I instantly proved my old self wrong. Which is crazy. And I told myself that. I told myself, hey, I'm never going to draw a realistic person because I At the time, I generally did not believe that I would I would be capable. Um, I did not have that much faith in myself because unfortunately, we're our own worst critics, and we are often too harsh on ourselves. What is this pinch that I'm looking at? I'm messing this up. Sorry, I'm a little behind. Need people to believe it's possible. You don't think you were ever particularly good at giving feedback? Yeah, because you don't know what to critique. And I think that was what was frustrating back all those years back. Like, you want critique, but people are afraid of hurting your feelings, but you can give constructive criticism without hurting someone's feelings. Like, yeah, it might sting, but at least I'm better for it. Especially, like, if I'm asking for construction criticism, people are like, I still don't want to step on your toes. It's very strange. Women in anime noses are usually pretty small. You were never encouraged? You was ignored in art. Now you're probably one of the few in my class who got a career somewhat in it. Oh, congratulations. Anything you've learned how to go away and learn because my art teachers were not really present? Hmm. I think that's because you were an advocate for yourself. And that's the most important part, right? Like, if you really want something, even if no one else supports you, you still gotta do it. But there's always someone who will like encourage you. You just have to find them. They're often like hidden, or you just haven't met them yet. This shape is not popping out the way I want it to. This needs to go bigger. Me neither. You still lack faith in yourself. You got used to critiquing yourself and comparing yourself to others. Yeah, but it takes time. You still not the skill level you want to. Drawing your comic, but you're way better than you used to be. I hear you, just one day at a time, right? Yeah, exactly. As long as you keep practicing and keep improving and keep avoiding mistakes. I mean, you can't avoid them completely, but if you catch your mistakes sooner, you'll be all the better for that. Actually, I don't want to erase this too late, too soon. Keep my lines a little bit soft here. There were days in the past where I was so frustrated with myself I would actually cry. But now I'm in the place where, like, if I get frustrated with myself, I'm like, okay, it's time to stop here. Look at what you're doing, what's going on. maybe write down your thoughts about this and collect yourself, basically. Like, it's comes with maturity, but having a bit of introspection and self-reflection in a way does help you avoid those moments of frustration. I know it helped me a lot since I got the advice from a person who is smarter than me. And I like to write anyway, so this is a bonus for me. Yeah, cover the hand. Iron hand. You're very averse to putting people off drawing, so you generally try to just support them or throw a GIF art in their way to encourage them because you struggle to give feedback. Aw. And that's why I think you like should suggest things like Stitch here says. Suggest things to guide them to where they look at next. Like, let's say Hedgecat finds something wrong with it, but they're like, oh man, I don't want to discourage them, but you'd be like, hey, maybe you should take a look at this spot specifically, and maybe they can catch it themselves. That could also work. Like, you can be a little bit passive about it. But yeah, don't be like, oh, I'm just gonna discourage them. Like, people are not as fragile as you think they are. Because to be honest, Hedgecat, like, your lack of feedback when I asked for it often frustrated me. Because clearly, like, I see your problem, but I can't catch it. But this is why I needed, like, a second set of eyes. One moment, I'm getting a phone call. Oh gosh. Alright, I'm gonna have to mute. Oh, good. Phone call was short. What the heck? My screen. Sorry about that. Pardon the intrusion. Excuse me. Where was I going with this? I'm sorry, I was part of this conversation and then I got a phone call and I'm like, where am I going with this? Right. Encouragement. Constructive criticism. That was where I was going with this. Lead with something positive. Say what you like, as Stitch is saying. And kindly leave the problem areas. Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't... I know there are, like, people who are actually mean, but that's because they're, like... They're too brusque. They're too brutally honest. Like, and there are people who can't tolerate brutal honesty. But you have to keep in mind of the person's level of intelligence and their emotional intelligence. If you feel like the person you're critiquing is not emotionally mature, then yeah, you're gonna have to be soft with them. But if you know that they can take it, you don't have to be insulting, you know? You don't have to insult their work. Because, hey, I know, let's say I know there's something wrong with this, but I can't find it. Can you find it? And the person finds it. But just because they found it, they don't have to, like, go in on it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to, like, be roasting me here. I'm just asking, hey, what can I do to improve this? You don't have to, like, bring my entire ego down. There is a cuff in here somewhere. This is why I like the program that I'm in currently, and that I started since 2021. They know how to critique people properly, which is perfect. Because there are times where I'm drawing and I'm like, I have work blindness, or I've been working on this for several hours and I don't know what's wrong with it. So I have someone who is better than me who can catch it. And that's another thing. If you are persistent in your art studies, you have to kind of surround yourself with people who are higher skilled than you so that they can find what's wrong with your stuff. Because they probably either had experience with that or they know how to find what's wrong with it. Even if you don't use a reference, they probably like can see like what you're trying to do and how to fix it. So try to find peers who you're learning with, and they can help critique you. Excuse me, I'm all out of tea. I'm using that to keep my throat active. You can be honest, you just have to temper it. That said, I take brutal honesty over being flat ignored. I hated your time in art school, you was always ignored. Yeah, you saw that happen to someone, she didn't take it well and everyone felt bad for her. I think... Yeah, it's very strange to be ignored in art school when you need criticism, but I feel like if you're ignored pretty often, or you perceive it as often, I think the teacher probably doesn't find too much fault in your work. I think that could be the case, or they are... I hate to say this, because I don't want to act in bad faith, they might be just lazy. They don't want to critique everyone. I don't want to be bad faith and say that, but sometimes that is the case, unfortunately. But, yeah. I'm sorry that if there's just one instructor, they're not going to always have time for you. But if there's many instructors, and everyone is assigned, like, a student, then you'll get better constructive criticism sooner, as well as, again, my suggestion of surrounding yourself with peers who are at your level or higher level than you, and they can also help you. I'll put in the shadows so I can for next time. Not next time, next week. Feeling a little bit nauseous. Nauseous? No, nauseated. Excuse me. Words. You had a girl cry in one of the critiques. You felt bad. Particularly, this teacher would have plenty of time for female artists in class. Just saying. Oh, discrimination. That's pretty bad. I don't know. Harshest critique was when the professor said that he was disappointed in how it turned out and then fixed the mistakes while disappointed. Yikes. I think in general you've been in your only art critic for being largely self-taught. At this point, you don't know how to handle outside criticism for the most part. Huh. Fix your art for you? That sounds like overstepping. Well, if he's an instructor, maybe not. But for the most part, Sarah's the only person you've talked about regarding art. Yeah. And, like, I really do like your art, which is why I want to see more of it, please. Please, pretty please. I just wish you were, like, not as lazy with your work. Maybe not lazy. Contemplative. Like, you make something and then I don't see it again for several months. And when I do see it again, it's clear that you made some progress. But then I thought, like, oh, you would say things like, oh, it's still not finished. Like, oh, I see. It's still not finished, you say? Like, when was the last time I saw this? Oh, back in January, I see. Oh, shape is not correct at all. You've been doodling during the stream? Okay, that's great. You are. You're always happy to give feedback. You're not nasty. You may even be better than me. Again, everyone's on a different art journey. You don't draw nearly as much as you should. Nah, that's true. Excuse me. Frankly... Yeah, zoom out. Sorry. I'm reaching the end of my own. Quite frankly, I'm feeling like a little bit nauseous. Yeah, I think I'm hungry. So I'm gonna have to like end this stream soon before I get even more sick. Excuse me. Well, I wanted to read the chat before I go. Excuse me. It's frankly a wonder how you've managed to maintain your general skill level with the large gaps in drawing anything at all. It's muscle memory mostly. Your brain will still remember even if you haven't done it in a while. Just like how your body remembers how much weight you lifted last time, even though it's been like several weeks. But the thing is, you're just a little bit weaker. I think mentally, unfortunately, the sliding scale is a lot faster than physical. But it's more like because you've done it so often, the more you do, the more you retain. And that loss isn't as bad as you think. So there's that, I guess. From what you heard from his art school stories, he was nicer than his old teachers. I mean, I'm in favor of a teacher telling you what you could improve on, but not changing your art for you. I think changing would be allowed. I would only allow it if there's tracing paper over the artist's work. That way there's a point of comparison. I like instructors like Brian S. Knox, where when he corrects his students' work, he uses a big piece of tracing paper over it, and he traces over it, and he shows like, hey, this is where this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed. He just draws the whole thing the way he would. But that way, the artist can take home that trace and their work and have a quick comparison as to where the mistakes are. I would prefer that over just the instructor just straight up changing your stuff. just a point that there are just instructors who know how to do it best, and there are those who just want to do it for you, which I find very bizarre. Yeah, that is better. Like, just give me a trace of what I did wrong, and I'll just learn from that because that's the best way of doing it. Because after all, when you're learning art, you're learning from the instructor. You're copying them first before you understand what they're doing, and then you can draw on your own. Good to have you in the stream. Thank you for making me feel welcome and for interesting bone anatomy discussion. I wish I could discuss more on it, but my memories are not all that great. You'll become a doctor yet? Ugh. As a fun fact, there are more bones in the human skull than I imagined, but I don't want to get into that discussion. I need to go. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for talking to me in the chat. You guys have been pretty cool. I hope to see you next week, next Friday. Same time, same place. Until then, stay safe and take care.